Hello there, scrappy friend. Suzanne here in the studio today with a February end of month studio wrap up video. In addition to working on my counterfeit kit this month and my paper pad collection obsession, I also needed to make some cards. And when I need to make cards, my first place to turn is the Call Me Crafty Al sheet load of cards. So here is the February 2025 sheet load. And when I saw this pretty much 3x4 card in the middle of it immediately reminded me of some supplies I had. And they were from Stampin' Up Magnolia Lane. And the first thing I had gotten in that was a card kit that used these little cards and smaller format cards and envelopes. Now, these weren't going to work for what I needed them for the card ministry, but I could incorporate these probably as easily as just turning her sketch this way. I have the Magnolia Lane paper because I found a bulk paper pack and the Magnolia Blooms photopolymer stamp set at a recent scrap rummage sale. Now, the DSP bulk, when you get that, you get 20 sheets, 10 each of 2 double-sided designs. So you're getting 4 different designs, which is less than you would normally get in the designer series paper where you actually get 12 designs. But this is enough for a lot of purposes, including I'm going to make some scrapbooking pages. But there was plenty of this paper, so I was digging right in and making cards. So let me pull out some of the other supplies. I was going to need some sentiments, so these are the ones I ended up using. Bloom with Hope, Blessings from Heaven, and Express Yourself. So let's set those aside for a minute. I also pulled out my blends in Petal Pink and Mossy Meadow. And Magnolia Lane came with these little cork shapes, and I think I will use those for scrapbooking, but I do not think I'm going to use them for the cards. But they also had this beautiful braided twine and this lovely ribbon. So I was also going to need a little bling. So I went to my stash and I found some Stampin' Up iridescent rhinestones. So I bet you'd like to see those cards. Let's get to it, shall we? Let me zoom in real quick. Okay, here's the first one. I just added the With Sympathy here. Then I used the ribbon and tied a knot with the twine. And then I use a glue dot to keep that from unraveling. And then I use some gems. On making cards lately, I'm really trying to stick to using colored card bases. Stampin' Up's cardstock, colored cardstock is such a nice weight for card bases. You feel like it's going to support the front of the card without it feeling sort of unbalanced. And then here's the second card. Pretty. So this is the Petal Pink, that is the actual color in here. And then I added a strip, did a stamp here, and then the sentiment here is time and memory bring healing, may comfort and hope bloom in your heart. So I think those turned out really nice. Here's the actual Petal Pink, and then I did some, as that was running out, in the an older color called Powder Pink, and it looks just fine as well. Close enough to blend. Okay, so there were the first 8. Then I'm working on, back in 2019, on Call Me Crafty Al, and here's July of 2019. So let's look at those. Whoops. Here, I'm praying for you, so I stamped that, and then I stamped the flower, and then I used my blends to color it in. So I was able to get 6 of those as well. Can't tell, that front panel here is popped up with dimensionals. And then this opens up vertically. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. And then I did a little banner across the bottom. This one is actually the basic beige cardstock, which of course is a superb neutral that blends with everything. Next up, August of 2019. I like this kind of little pocket look. Didn't actually make a pocket, but that's what it reminded me of. Here we have You Are in My Prayers. Again, this is the powder pink. Different combinations of papers there. And then inside, just stamped a big magnolia. Then next up, December of 2019. Here we have a tag, and we're going to actually use 3 patterns. So this one's really pretty as well. Feel Better Soon. So Thinking of You, Get Well, Sympathy are the biggest demand of cards we have to send out. So I'm happy to get stocked up on these. Okay, and then last but not least, July of 2023. I'm kind of surprised I hadn't done this one before. Maybe I did and just didn't mark it so. This one is fun. Here we've got the magnolia flower peeking out from behind the sentiment. Feel Better Soon. We got a little blends coloring. And then on the inside, You Are in My Prayers, and a little stamping of leaves. First and second generation. Okay, what's next? Okay, even though February was a short month, I was able to tackle a few things. I tackle my stash in various ways, of course, working through photos, but also different ways of looking at my stash. And here we have some of my last of line. These are collections where I'm down to, I don't know, 4 or 5 pieces of paper maybe, but I still have an abundance of embellishments, so I don't want to break this down into my general stash yet. This is Fancy Pants Sweet Nothings, and of course in February there's lots of inspiration. So I pulled this one out and finished off the last 4 sheets of it. I had 2 of these background sheets, and then 2 sheets that were this balloon on one side and the P.S. I Love You on the other. So this came together super quick. They had a great big bag of die cuts, including these LOVE tags and some other tags I have used over here. And I still had a bunch of puffy stickers left. So this page went together really quick. We've got 3 4x6s, so it's, even though the pages are, some of these are fairly busy patterns, I haven't tried to put too much as far as photos on, and then the embellishments are really all around the periphery. So I think it made a really nicely balanced page that was fun, but still easy to take in. Another last of line I worked with is Doodlebug Yankee Doodle. Here I just had a couple of pieces of this left, this star paper for one, and some other smaller pieces, and then I had a 6x12 washi sticker book, so that's what a lot of this is at the bottom. And then I believe this piece going down here is a scrap of Cartabella. I had thrown in some miscellaneous patriotic stuff in with that last of line. So it was serendipity that this white star actually happened to be in my white scraps, my white daisy scraps. And then I like these cute little puffy stickers too. I always glue those down because puffy stickers tend to pop up. This little glittery here is, I believe those are from Little Birdie. I have another one here and another one here. So in order not to cover up too much of this paper, because I really liked this flag paper, I cut these down to 3.5 by 5 and 3.5 by 3.5. So, and then we've got all this white up here that really gives our eye a place to rest. So as I said, I had some scraps left over there and some odds and ends in that. So I went ahead and decided it was time to make cards. So let me zoom in. And I tackled 3 more sheet loads of cards. By the end of March, I should be all cut up on these and have done all of Crafty Al's sheet loads. So this is a fun pattern. I did 2 of these because I had 2 different color scraps here I could use for the background, this cardstock layer. And I think these turned out super cute. This Take Care of Yourself was from a Stampin' Up set called Flowing Fountain, I believe. And then here, for my embellishments, I have used little white dots, and these are actually enamel accents from Tim Holtz. So they come in a bottle. I was impressed. The viscosity of these is nice in that it comes out of the bottle and it stays in a nice round little drop. I'm going to keep that out on my desk for a while because I tend to go through white enamel dots a lot. For the next one, here is the November 2019. And here we have this panel. You actually make the panel and then cut it and then put it down on the card. So this one is lots of fun here. This scrap that I had was quite a bit smaller, so it's got a nice white wide border on this, but I think it really makes it pop. I'm really happy with this. And then my embellishment again are the white enamel accents and a little flower. Cute, huh? And then last but not least, this June 2020. And here I have 2. On this first one, I didn't actually use a 3rd white banner. Instead, I used this big die cut from the patriotic line there. And then I've got the enamel accents again. And here I've got a little happy birthday. And then on this one here, I actually did put the white flag down. But then I happened to have this circle already punched out. So I decided to put the bird there. I did outline the bird with a blue marker. Added some little white enamel accents to his tail. And some of these puffy stickers. Super cute. Okay, there was one other way I do my stash, of course, is I have my 100 pattern papers. So I did manage to use some of those up. This was a layout based on a sketch from, it might have been, I'm not sure, it was the 100 pattern papers group or the sketch and scrap group that had this sketch. But this is actually based on a challenge my sister and sister-in-law and I are all doing. We have a list of challenges. We're going to do 2 a month of things that we thought of the last time we were together, scrapbooking of all the things we, thought we could do. So it ended up being a list and we're doing it. And this one was to start with an unmatched embellishment pack. So I had a pack of Jolie stickers that were cat themed. And then I added Mira. This is my son and daughter-in-law's Sphinx hairless cat. Her name's Mira. So that's another fun way I am tackling my stash. Okay. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. I hope to see you back here in March. Bye for a bit.